First contact under fire. Commander Elena Torres stood at the bridge of the EDS Artemis, Earth's most advanced deep space vessel, as her crew tracked an unusual energy signature at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. The signature didn't match any known human spacecraft configurations, and its erratic movement pattern suggested damage. Multiple objects emerging from quantum space, Commander, Lieutenant Park announced, his hands dancing across the holographic interface. The first signature we detected is definitely a ship, but it's being pursued by 3 larger vessels. Torres' expression remained steady, but her mind raced. Humanity had spent decades preparing for first contact, but no one had expected it to happen during what appeared to be a space battle. "Show me," she ordered. The main view screen materialized, revealing a crystalline vessel trailing plasma from its wounded hull. Behind it, 3 obsidian ships with predatory profiles closed in for the kill. Their design spoke of efficiency and ruthlessness, smooth surfaces that absorbed rather than reflected light, weapon ports that promised devastation. "The leading vessel is broadcasting on all frequencies," Communications Officer Chen reported. "It's not any language we've encountered before, but the pattern suggests distress." Torres made her decision. Earth's first contact protocols emphasized peaceful interaction, but they also mandated protecting those in danger. "Battle stations. Deploy quantum shields. We're not letting those aggressors finish whatever they started." The Artemis crew moved with practiced precision. Humanity might be new to interstellar warfare, but they'd spent centuries preparing for conflict. Every simulation, every war game, every technological advancement had been made with the understanding that humanity needed to be ready for anything. "Incoming transmission from the pursuing vessels," Chen announced. "They're ordering us to stand down. Translation matrix is having trouble, but the tone is imperious." Torres allowed herself a grim smile. "Send our standard greeting package on all frequencies. Make it clear we're willing to talk, but we won't permit the destruction of a vessel in distress in our territory." The response came in the form of weapons fire. The leading pursuer launched what appeared to be plasma torpedoes, not at the Artemis, but at the refugee vessel. "Quantum point defense system engaging," Weapons Officer Rodriguez reported calmly. The Artemis's defensive grid activated, creating localized space-time distortions that absorbed and nullified the incoming fire. The pursuing vessels paused, clearly surprised by technology they hadn't encountered before. Humanity's development path had been unique. While other species focused on conventional energy weapons and shields, Earth had pursued quantum manipulation technology, leading to defenses that didn't just block attacks but prevented them from existing in their target space. "They're charging weapons again," Park reported. "All 3 vessels this time. Energy signatures suggest something more powerful." Torres nodded. "Deploy the ghost drones. Let's show them why picking a fight with Earth was a mistake." A dozen small craft emerged from the Artemis's launch bays. To conventional sensors, they barely existed. Earth's quantum tech allowed them to exist partially out of phase with normal spacetime. The pursuing vessels didn't even seem to notice them. The ghost drones synchronized their quantum fields, creating a complex interference pattern. When the enemy vessels fired, their weapons encountered what appeared to be empty space, but their energy was caught in a quantum web, redirected, and amplified back at them. The results were devastating. The lead pursuer's shields collapsed under its own reflected firepower. The other 2 vessels attempted to evade, but the ghost drones had already locked them in a quantum grip. "The refugee vessel is hailing us," Chen reported. "They're thanking us, I think." The translation is becoming clearer. Torres watched as the enemy vessels powered down, their crews likely realizing they'd severely miscalculated. "Bring the refugee ship in close under our defensive envelope. Tell them we'll provide whatever assistance they need." She paused, then added, "and inform the aggressors that they're about to learn why humanity's isolation in the galaxy wasn't a sign of weakness, but of potential waiting to be unleashed." As the Artemis's tractor beams gently guided the damaged crystalline ship to safety, Torres knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage, not with diplomatic niceties, but by demonstrating both their technological prowess and their willingness to protect those in need. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's apparent backwater status had been misleading. They hadn't been left behind. They'd been developing in ways no one had expected, creating technologies and strategies that would reshape the understanding of what was possible in space warfare. And this was just the first demonstration of what Earth could do. The hidden advantage. Deep within UNDF Command in the Himalayan complex, Admiral Sarah Chen studied the holographic display showing the refugee vessel's data core contents. The crystalline beings called themselves the Lumini, a species that had once controlled a prosperous trading network before the arrival of the Nexus Dominion. Their entire civilization was nearly wiped out, Dr. Marcus Wong explained, gesturing at the star charts. The Dominion doesn't just conquer. They assimilate or eliminate. They've been expanding for centuries, incorporating the technology of every species they defeat. Chen's eyes narrowed as she processed the implications, and yet they've never encountered anything like our quantum technology. That's what makes Earth unique, Wong continued, excitement evident in his voice. While the rest of the galaxy focused on plasma weapons, energy shields, and conventional FTL drives, we developed in complete isolation. Our quantum manipulation technology evolved from a completely different theoretical foundation. The Admiral moved through the command center, where hundreds of officers coordinated Earth's military response. The first contact incident had triggered humanity's long-prepared defense protocols. Across the solar system, hidden shipyards emerged from quantum fields that had kept them invisible for decades. Status of Project Phantom? Chen asked, approaching the tactical display. Colonel James Rodriguez stepped forward. The first fleet of Ghost-class destroyers is ready. 12 ships, each equipped with our latest quantum drive systems. The Lumini are helping us optimize the stealth systems. Their crystalline technology interfaces surprisingly well with our quantum fields. The holographic display shifted to show one of the new destroyers. Unlike the sleek, aggressive designs favored by the Dominion, Earth's warships embraced organic curves and seemingly impossible geometries. Their hulls weren't just armor. They were quantum manipulation engines themselves, capable of phasing partially out of normal space-time. The Dominion's going to respond to the Artemis incident, Chen stated. They've never faced defeat before. Their entire empire is built on the assumption of technological superiority. Let them come, Rodriguez replied with confidence. Every simulation we've run shows our quantum technology gives us an unprecedented advantage. While they rely on brute force and overwhelming firepower, we can literally rewrite the rules of engagement. In the training chambers below, human pilots merged their consciousness with quantum interface pods. Earth had taken a different approach to combat systems. Instead of artificial intelligence, they developed technology that expanded human consciousness, allowing pilots to perceive and manipulate quantum states directly. The Lumini shared something interesting, Wong added, pulling up new data. The Dominion's expansion has followed a predictable pattern because they've only encountered species that developed along similar technological paths. They've never had to adapt their strategies. Chen smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. Then let's show them something new. Begin Operation Quantum Shadow. Deploy the Ghost Fleet in defensive positions throughout the system, but keep them in quantum null space. I want the Dominion to think they're facing a single lucky vessel. The next few days saw frantic but ordered preparation across Earth's military infrastructure. The Artemis incident had proven their theories correct. Humanity's unique development path had given them capabilities the galaxy's dominant power had never encountered. In orbital shipyards, engineers integrated Lumini crystalline technology with Earth's quantum systems, creating hybrid systems more powerful than either species could achieve alone. The refugee scientists worked alongside human researchers, their initial awe at Earth's quantum manipulation capabilities turning to excitement as they realized the potential of combining their technologies. "Admiral," Rodriguez called out, "long-range quantum sensors are detecting multiple fold space ruptures. Dominion signatures. Looks like a full battle fleet." Chen nodded, unsurprised. The Dominion wouldn't take their first defeat lightly. They'd come prepared for a show of force, expecting to find a primitive species that had gotten lucky once. "Let them approach," she ordered. "Maintain quantum camouflage on all facilities. The Ghost Fleet remains in null space until my command." She turned to the assembled command staff. "The Dominion thinks they're the galaxy's apex predator. Time to show them what happens when you corner a species that evolved on a death world." As the Dominion fleet emerged from fold space, their sensors would detect exactly what Earth wanted them to see: a single defended planet, protected by apparently primitive technology. They wouldn't see the quantum fields layered through space itself, the Ghost Fleet waiting in dimensions they couldn't perceive, or the network of quantum sensors mapping their every move. Humanity had spent centuries preparing for war among the stars. The Dominion was about to learn that Earth's isolation hadn't made them weak. It had made them dangerous in ways the galaxy had never imagined. Operation Shadow Strike. The Dominion battle fleet emerged from fold space like a wall of darkness, 50 capital ships arranged in perfect combat formation. Their black hulls absorbed virtually all light, making them appear as void cuts against the star field. At their center, a massive dreadnought twice the size of its escorts projected an aura of unstoppable power. In the quantum command sphere of the Ghost Fleet flagship Erebus, Captain Maya Patel felt rather than saw the enemy arrival through her neural interface. The quantum enhancement pods surrounded her in a crystalline matrix, developed through human Lumini cooperation, allowing her consciousness to extend through quantum space. Dominion fleet holding position at projected coordinates, her XO reported, his voice seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere in the quantum interface. Their energy signatures suggest they're charging primary weapons. Patel remained calm as she sensed the Ghost Fleet's positions through quantum space. 12 destroyers, officially designated as not there by every conventional sensor in existence, waited in perfect formation. The Dominion fleet had no idea they were already surrounded. The enemy commander's transmission arrived right on schedule, broadcast on all frequencies with the casual arrogance of absolute power. "Primitive species of Sol system. Your interference with authorized Dominion peacekeeping operations cannot be tolerated. Surrender the Lumini refugees and submit to immediate technological assessment. Failure to comply will result in planetary punishment protocols." Admiral Chen's response from Earth Command was deliberately delayed, allowing the quantum web to settle into position. "This is Earth Defense Command. We don't recognize your authority in this system. The refugees are under our protection. Any hostile action will be met with appropriate force." The Dominion dreadnought's weapon ports began to glow with gathered energy. They intended to demonstrate their power by destroying a significant target, likely one of Earth's outer colonies on Mars or Europa. "All Ghost Fleet units, execute Operation Shadow Strike," Patel commanded. "Phase shift on my mark." The quantum fields surrounding each Ghost Fleet vessel began to resonate at precisely calculated frequencies. This was the moment that would demonstrate humanity's greatest advantage, their ability to manipulate the quantum fabric of space itself. Phase shift in 3, 2, 1. Execute. Reality rippled as 12 Ghost Fleet destroyers partially phased into normal space, their quantum fields creating a complex interference pattern that trapped the Dominion fleet in a multidimensional net. To the enemy sensors, it would appear as if space itself had come alive around them. Target lock confirmed. Weapons control reported. Quantum torpedoes armed. The Ghost Fleet's primary weapons were unlike anything the Dominion had encountered. Instead of conventional warheads or energy beams, they fired packets of concentrated quantum displacement, microscopic areas where the laws of physics could be temporarily rewritten. Fire. 12 quantum torpedoes launched simultaneously, their trajectories impossible to track as they existed partially out of phase with normal spacetime. The Dominion's advanced shields, designed to stop energy and matter, were useless against weapons that attacked the fabric of reality itself. The results exceeded even their simulations. When the quantum torpedoes detonated, they created localized areas where space-time briefly ceased to function normally. The effect on the Dominion ships was catastrophic. Portions of their hull simply ceased to exist where they intersected with the quantum distortions. Enemy fleet attempting emergency fold space jump, Tactical reported. Their formation is breaking. Patel allowed herself a grim smile. Execute secondary attack pattern. Don't let them escape to warn the others. The Ghost Fleet shifted positions through quantum space, their movements defying conventional physics. Each destroyer now targeted multiple enemy vessels, their quantum fields creating a complex web that prevented escape into fold space. From the Dominion's perspective, it must have seemed like fighting shadows. The Ghost Fleet appeared and disappeared at will, their quantum torpedoes striking from impossible angles. Traditional space combat doctrine had no answer for ships that could partially exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The battle lasted less than 15 minutes. When it ended, the mighty Dominion battle fleet had been reduced to drifting hulks, their crews trapped in ships that had been partially phased out of normal spacetime. The few vessels that survived were so thoroughly trapped in quantum interference fields that they couldn't even power their weapons. Signal from Earth Command. Communications reported. Admiral Chen sends congratulations. Operation Shadow Strike is confirmed as a complete success. Patel disengaged from her quantum interface pod, her mind gradually returning to normal space perception. The victory was decisive, but she knew this was just the beginning. The Dominion wouldn't take this defeat lightly. They would return with everything they had. But humanity would be ready. The Ghost Fleet had proven that Earth's unique approach to space combat was more than a match for the galaxy's greatest power, and they had only begun to demonstrate what their quantum technology could do. The enemy's reckoning. Supreme Commander Vexlor stood before the Dominion High Council, his iridescent scales dulled with the shame of defeat. The central chamber of the Dominion's capital ship, Eternal Dominance, hung heavy with tension as the recorded battle footage played again. Impossible. First Counselor Mazthar hissed, his biomechanical enhancements pulsing with agitation. No primitive species should possess such capability. They were not even spacefaring a century ago. The footage showed Ghost Fleet vessels appearing from nowhere, their quantum torpedoes bypassing the Dominion's most advanced shields as if they didn't exist. 50 ships of the line, including their newest dreadnought, neutralized in minutes. The humans do not follow expected technological progression, Vexlor reported, his voice steady despite his disgrace. While we mastered plasma containment and energy manipulation, they developed something entirely different. Their quantum technology operates on principles our scientists barely understand. The council chamber erupted in angry whispers. The Dominion had conquered 1,000 worlds by following a simple pattern: identify developing civilizations, assess their technology, and absorb or eliminate them before they could become threats. But humanity had somehow developed in complete isolation, creating weapons and defenses that didn't follow any known advancement path. Our analysis of the battle data is disturbing, Vexlor continued. Their ships don't just use stealth technology. They manipulate the fundamental structure of spacetime. Our sensors cannot track them because they exist partially outside normal space. Our weapons cannot harm them because they can phase shift the targeted areas of their hulls into different dimensional states. The Supreme Military Analyst, a cybernetically enhanced being named Krall, stepped forward. We have confirmed that human quantum technology is unlike anything in our database. They don't just use advanced science, they operate on different scientific principles entirely. Their isolation allowed them to develop along a completely unique path. How? Demanded Mazthar. How did we miss this threat? Because we were looking for the wrong signs, Krall replied. We monitor developing worlds for energy signatures, space traffic, communications broadcasts. The humans developed their technology in ways we never considered possible. Their quantum fields hide their activities from conventional detection methods. We thought they were primitives because they didn't show expected advancement patterns. The tactical display shifted to show Earth's solar system. What had initially appeared to be a barely defended backwater now revealed itself as a carefully prepared fortress. Quantum sensor echoes suggested massive hidden shipyards, research facilities, and defense platforms, all concealed by technology the Dominion couldn't reliably detect. "They are building more ships," Vexlor reported grimly. "Our long-range scouts detect quantum disturbances consistent with major military expansion, and they've begun sharing their technology with the Lumini refugees. The crystalline properties of Lumini tech apparently enhances human quantum field generation." "Impossible," another council member objected. "No species would freely share such advanced technology." "The humans are different," Krell interjected. "Our psychological analysis suggests they value cooperation over dominance. They view the Lumini as allies to be uplifted, not resources to be exploited. This makes them even more dangerous. They're actively teaching others how to resist us." Mazthar's cybernetic eyes pulsed with rage. "Ready the Grand Armada. We will crush this threat with overwhelming force before." "With respect, First Counselor," Vexlor interrupted, "a direct assault would be disastrous. Our standard tactics are useless against their quantum technology. They can detect our fold space signatures long before we arrive, and their ghost fleet can strike from dimensional states our sensors cannot perceive." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. For the first time in centuries, the Dominion faced an enemy they couldn't simply overwhelm with superior firepower. Humanity's unique development path had created a civilization that could not only resist them but actively counter their every advantage. "They are expanding their sphere of influence," Krall reported. "Several other species that have avoided our notice are now seeking alliance with Earth. The humans are positioning themselves as protectors of free species. Our empire's foundation of technological supremacy is being challenged." Mazthar's metallic claws dug into his command throne. "Then we must adapt. Gather our best scientists. Redirect research resources. We must understand this quantum technology before." An aide rushed into the chamber, his scales pale with fear. "First Counselor, we've lost contact with the Centauri sector fleet. Last transmissions indicate they encountered human vessels using some kind of quantum field technology. The entire fleet just vanished." The council chamber erupted in chaos. The Dominion's worst fear had been realized. Not only had they failed to crush humanity immediately, but they had given Earth time to perfect their quantum weapons and begin taking the offensive. Dawn of a new era. Admiral Chen stood in Earth's new quantum command center, watching as holographic displays tracked the movement of combined human Lumini fleets across the galaxy. 6 months had passed since the first battle with the Dominion, and everything had changed. "Operation Liberation has exceeded all projections," Captain Putel reported, her quantum neural interface allowing her to process battlefield data from a dozen sectors simultaneously. "The Lumini crystal worlds are secure, and 3 more subjugated species have joined our alliance." The tactical display showed humanity's quantum technology spreading throughout the galaxy like ripples in a pond. What had started as Earth's unique development path had evolved into something greater, a fundamental shift in how civilizations could resist the Dominion's tyranny. "The Dominion's trying something new," Colonel Rodriguez announced, directing attention to a sector near their core worlds. "They're attempting to replicate our quantum field technology. But without understanding the basic principles we developed over centuries, they're just creating unstable space-time distortions." Chen nodded, unsurprised. The Dominion's greatest weakness had finally been exposed. Their reliance on assimilating technology rather than truly understanding it. They had grown powerful by stealing and copying the innovations of others, but humanity's quantum science required too much fundamental knowledge to be easily replicated. New transmission from the Lumini High Council. Communications reported, "Their crystal tech enhancement of our quantum drives is ready for full deployment. The Ghost Fleet's operational range will triple. The Admiral allowed herself a small smile. The Dominion had never imagined that their victims would not only resist, but actively cooperate in developing new technologies. Humanity's willingness to share knowledge and form true alliances had created something unprecedented. A coalition of species working together as equals. Multiple Dominion battle groups are attempting to converge on the Arcturus sector, Tactical announced. They're still trying to use overwhelming force. Deploy Ghost Fleet Squadrons 3 through 7, Chen ordered. Standard quantum envelope tactics. Let's show them why brute force doesn't work against enemies they can't even properly detect. The battle that followed was almost anticlimactic. The Dominion ships, for all their fearsome weapons and advanced shields, couldn't engage an enemy that existed partially in quantum null space. The Ghost Fleet vessels slipped through their formation like specters, their quantum torpedoes reducing the mighty armada to drifting hulks in a matter of minutes. But it was what happened next that truly marked the end of an era. As the Ghost Fleet secured the sector, ships began emerging from fold space. Vessels of dozens of different designs and species, all former victims of the Dominion. They had been watching, waiting, and now they saw their opportunity. We're receiving transmissions from 37 different species. Communications reported with barely contained excitement. They're all requesting alliance with Earth and access to quantum defense technology. The Dominion's empire is fracturing as its subject worlds revolt. Chen turned to address her command staff. This was never about replacing one empire with another. Humanity developed in isolation because we had to solve our own problems, find our own path. Now we can help others do the same. The next few weeks saw the galaxy transform. The Dominion, unable to maintain control over worlds they couldn't intimidate with superior firepower, began to collapse from within. Their subject species, armed with human quantum technology enhanced by Lumini crystals, declared independence one after another. In a final ironic twist, it was the Dominion High Council that sent the surrender request. Their message was simple. They had encountered something they couldn't assimilate or destroy, and for the first time in their history, they had to negotiate as equals. Admiral Chen stood before the United Earth Council 3 days later, delivering her final report on the conflict. The Dominion threat has been neutralized, but more importantly, we've helped establish something new. The Galactic Cooperative combines the unique technological and cultural developments of dozens of species. Together, we're stronger than any empire built on fear and domination. As she looked out at the assembled leaders of humanity and their alien allies, Chen reflected on how far they'd come. Earth's isolation, once seen as a sign of backwardness, had proved to be their greatest strength. By developing along their own path, humanity had not only survived first contact, they had changed the galaxy forever. In the space dock above Earth, the latest generation of Ghost Fleet vessels prepared for their first patrol mission. Their crews were no longer just human. Lumini crystal specialists worked alongside Earth quantum engineers, while other allied species contributed their own unique insights and technologies. The galaxy was entering a new age, one where cooperation and shared knowledge would replace conquest and domination. And it had all started because humanity, alone in their corner of space, had dared to imagine a different way of doing things. The quantum fields rippled one last time as the combined fleet jumped to fold space, leaving Earth behind, but carrying its legacy of innovation and determination to the stars. Humanity had proven that being different wasn't a weakness. It was the key to changing everything.